Hello, my name is Frank, and welcome to Stationery at 4. Today, I'll be taking a look at the Midori 5-Year Diary. It's a notebook that is effectively filling out a few lines a day for 5 years. I bought this notebook 6 months ago, which has given me enough time to really understand what I like about it, some of the things that I wish I could change about it, and I'll also be taking a look at the details of what this notebook is and a general overview or review of the notebook as well. So one might ask, what does one do with a 5-year diary with a few lines a day to fill out? I myself have a few different notebooks. I journal and obviously have a to-do list and things like that, as well as a traveler's notebook. And then I've also added a 5-year diary to my collection of paper to write on. It's fun to just keep using all your fountain pens in different places, so for me personally at least, that was one of the enticing things for me to buy the 5-year diary. Another reason is for me personally, was to memorize my day, or remember my day rather. There's things that I wanted to specifically highlight each day that I wanted to look back on and remember. So how is that different from a journal? From a journaling perspective, I have a whole bunch of ideas that I tend to explore, whereas the 5-year diary gets me right to the point, and I typically write about, for me personally, some of the highlights for my kids, or anything that was a success or a win or really stuck out in my mind as special for the day. So without further ado, let's jump over to the desk and take a closer look. The Midori 5-Year Diary is quite small. It's 4.5 inches wide by 7.25 long. It's about an inch thick. And it'd be surprising to see that you can fit 5 years worth of writings in here, but we'll talk about that in a sec. The notebook itself indicates 5-Year Diary on the spine, a little bit of Midori branding there, and that's the back. It comes in a hardcover sleeve. It is a hardcover itself, sorry, but also comes in a protective sleeve, which you can keep on your bookshelf or on your shelf. The notebook itself is a cloth-bound notebook, and it comes in a few different colors. Red is one I've seen. It also comes in a 3-year version of it as well, which has a few more colors, a blue, a light blue I think, and a white that I've also seen. The cloth version can also be changed out for a leather version, which is a little bit more. The cloth version is $60 and the leather version is $76. Although this year there is the 70-year Midori anniversary, and they have the green leather version for 60 Canadian dollars. I'll be putting those links in the description below. I bought mine from Reid, so I ordered a special order, and it took about 2 or 3 months to come in. They're also available at Wonder Pens. Reid's is a fantastic store here in Calgary, which I highly recommend. Wonder Pens is great for online shopping as well, if that is an option that you need to explore. There is also a blue floral pattern version and a white floral pattern version, and that goes up significantly in cost for the 5-year diary. I've seen that pricing at $96. The book itself has 193 sheets of fountain pen friendly paper. And here's a page with a day, a month. You fill out the year and the actual day, say it was Saturday, and you're right there. Each of these line spacings is 6 millimeters line spacing, and there's about 4 lines in each day to fill out. So let's talk about what I like. It's absolutely gorgeous to look at, and I think it's incredibly inviting. Let's just hide some of my stuff here. It starts off with a prologue section, which I really like, so that is just a few things that you want to write about the upcoming year. And each month has its own unique image at the start of the month, and a page divider, or a page marker I should say. So if we take a look at June, for example, here's June, and the page marker is an umbrella. So that's really neat. And if you can take a look at the spine here, you can see all 12 months lined out there. I think it's going to be an amazing heirloom. That's the other thing I like about this, is the fact that there's just going to be 5 years worth of things that I want to remember and write about, and will come back and take a look at. The book itself also has an epilogue page here as well, so you can reflect on how the year ended. And the book also has a personal memo section at the back, just to highlight if you ever lose your book, how one can return it to you. So there's a couple things that I didn't quite enjoy. Each day has only 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces to fill in your reflections or whatever you want to highlight. Now, in my opinion, that's not very much, and I find myself cramming a lot of things in. I suspect that's partly because it's made in Japan and it is for Japanese writing. Perhaps a stereotypical thing to say, but I think Japanese writing is a little bit more concise compared to Western writing, which, you know, it can just sprawl on and on. That being said, while I don't necessarily like that, at the same time, I do think it forces one to just be a bit more poignant about which things they want to indicate and write about. So perhaps a good thing in actually that way. The other thing that I don't necessarily like is the fact that this book does not lay flat. I find myself having to hold it down and write with it. And so I find myself wishing that it did just lay flat and I wouldn't be distracted by having to hold down my notebook. But I also realize that as I'm saying this, I'm a spoiled brat, and lay flats are a luxury, to say the least. So I can live with it, not the end of the day. Now, those are the only really few things that I didn't enjoy about this, but they're fairly minor things. I love the page markers. There's 2 of them. I use them, one for the day and one to indicate the month that I'm on. So maybe I should actually just put that over to June, for example, like that. And the only other thing that I didn't necessarily like is the fact that the fountain pen paper, it is fountain pen friendly, right? So very little bleed through and things like that. Sometimes it takes a while to dry. So what I've done is just cut up a piece of blotting paper and just stuck that in my book as well, just as effectively even a bookmark. Do I fill it out every single day? No, I wish I was that disciplined. I generally do, but sometimes I'll leave it 2 or 3 days. The worst I've left it is about a week, and I just come back and fill it out. And I think that's kind of the beauty of doing this. It doesn't have to be as strict. It can be as strict in a routine or as laissez-faire as you want it to be. And it's up to you how you look back on it. I think the other cool thing is when you take a look at each of these pages, I'm only on year 1, but in a couple of years there's going to be different things about on the same day, and I can start comparing. So there you have it. That is the 5-year diary review. I hope it was helpful. If you liked what you saw in this video, please consider clicking on the subscribe button below. I hope it was enough information that you might consider picking up one of these for yourself. Take care, have a wonderful day, and bye for now.